Coming up next, we have a panel interview about piloting the cities of the future. Okay. Aims to be the This is a microphone, sorry. Dubai aims to be the happiest and smartest city by 2021. And today, this vision is being piloted in 2 projects, in Dubai Silicon Oasis and in Dubai Design District. This session will help delve into what the city of the future will look like and what it takes to turn up this vision into reality. Please welcome onto the stage the moderator, Mr. Danish Farhan, founder and CEO of Xische.
Am I audible? Can you hear me? Yes? All right. I'd like to invite on stage my co-conspirator, engineer Muammar Al-Katheeri. Okay, let's adjust our mics so we make sure we don't miss any of the golden nuggets. Has everyone had coffee? Yes? Okay, good. I'll jump right in. My name is Danish Farhan. Dubai, the city you're in. How many of you are from Dubai? Show of hands? Okay, the rest of you are imported. Okay. Dubai is 43 years old. That's a few years older than me, and perhaps yourself. Within the first 5 years, Dubai built its first smart solution. It's called the Creek. The Creek was built. Well before its teens, Dubai built its second smart milestone, which was the World Trade Center, which was the first time that an ecosystem and a community existed under one roof. Fast forward into its 30s, as a city, Dubai had another smart milestone, which was the ICT strategy and the formation of the e-government in 1999. And around that time, and I know this is the milestone, Muammar, you will remember well, was the formation of Dubai Silicon Oasis. Our definition of smart has changed over the years. The same thing at one point used to be called E. And then what was in fashion for a while was M. Today it's called smart. And I think very soon it is going to become arbitrary to call anything smart. It's going to be a bit like saying the words www. We understand a .com does not require that. I've had the privilege of working with Smart Dubai as an advisor at my firm. The vision of His Highness for Smart Dubai is quite bold and powerfully simple. It is to make Dubai the happiest city on earth. This is a bold statement. You notice that the vision does not mention the word technology and absolutely does not mention the word smart. That's because technology is a means to an end, and the end is the happiness of people. In that context, smart cities have evolved. Back in the day, they used to be districts, there were hubs, then they became sensor-overloaded areas. Today, smart districts are those that just work well. And Dubai Silicon Oasis is obviously leading the way in piloting districts of the future on behalf of Dubai. With that, Muammar, in this era, when everyone wants part of the pixie dust called smart, everyone wants to be called smart, how does DSO's vision distinguish itself from 500 smart cities and smart districts that get launched every year around the world?
Thank you, Danish. Let me start by saying that Dubai opted for a very hard solution. And happiness, when it comes to the happiness of a person, it's something really personal.
Indeed.
And how to use or utilize technology in order to achieve that. So this is what makes us on our toes every day. That's what's driving us every day to go to work and try to be the best at what we do. So in that context, Silicon Oasis have been a strategic partner to the Smart Dubai office. And we started with various projects that are aimed to localization of the smart solutions and not just importing solutions to be implemented directly. However, looking at piloting it, doing a proof of concept of certain projects, and the collaboration between different local departments in order to achieve the vision of His Highness.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit more about the collaboration? Now, given Dubai works on an entrepreneurial sort of model, Dubai runs as a private organization, empowers everybody to lead as if they were the private sector. Has collaboration been a challenge across the city?
Indeed, it was.
Tell us more.
Okay. So when we talk about the collaboration, we wanted to position DSO as an ecosystem for smart city, our center of excellence, if I might say. And from that, we wanted also the involvement of different local government entities in order to create POCs or pilot projects on a smaller scale before deploying that into a city level where, if you make a mistake, it will be costing you much, much more. So from that, we've started talking to the local departments. We've piloted some projects. And even by implementing some of them, we saw that there are difficulties with the legislations, with the human behavior, with even the private sector in order to achieve such a goal.
Can you give us a couple of examples?
Okay. I can start with, if we go through the slides which
Can somebody organize the slides?
It's not flipping. Okay.
Good. Good. All yours.
Okay. So DSO as a smart, getting smarter, which is our slogan. We are talking about the values that we collaborate, innovate, and.
Look, if the slides aren't working, let's just talk.
Okay.
I think it's a nice picture anyway.
Okay, so if we start with an initiative that was started by DEWA, Dubai Electric and Water Authority. They wanted to place 100 charging stations in the city of Dubai. And DSO were the first commercialized location to have a charging station. And currently we have 3 charging stations. But we face certain legislations that actually hinder you from owning a car. Mm-hmm. So the cost of registration, the insurance cost is high. Even the retailers or the agencies, they are selling the car at a much higher premium than what is sold in Europe or somewhere else. So that's really not supporting the idea of promoting green mobility. From that, the Supreme Council of Energy in Dubai created a committee that's working on these legislation, including the insurance companies, the agencies, in order to have a better, affordable solution for the normal public. And I also recall that we approached one of the leading companies in car manufacturing, and we told them, you have a certain brand or a certain model, which is a pure electrical car, and we want you to pilot this in Dubai. Basically, they said, we don't see where is the market. It will cost them around 50 million euros in order to have a setup of mechanics, spare parts, training, and so on. But then the demand is not there. Okay. So it's a mindset issue that we need also to promote for such a mobility solution, and also to have all the stakeholders participate in finding a better solution in order to promote.
So as DSO, do you believe you play the role of a catalyst then?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Proof of concept, move on, legislative changes, monetary proof of concept, that will automatically allow the vendor to come in and start doing business? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And we differentiate ourselves in not just being a test bed or a pilot project area, but we also have an ecosystem that we are working with. So we are not just focused on production or finding solution. We are also into education from students in different grades to universities to incubation programs, entrepreneurs, accelerator programs, and so on. So it's the full spectrum of innovation is really encompassed in DSO.
So we left off at the Center of Excellence. Now, you said you're developing or have developed centers of excellence in order to derive lessons that the entire city can learn from. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay. So
we'll stick to one.
Yes.
And then we'll go straight into the next question.
We'll stick to one. When we looked at different cities and how they approached the smart city transformation, visiting different countries and cities who by their own have their own problems and issues that they wanted to resolve. However, I mean, from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed's direction is to have a happy city. So that really gives us a more holistic approach to it. Therefore, DSO looked into, as I said, 3 pillars for an ecosystem. One is smart education, so that's the schools, the universities, plus the academic cities surrounding us, and tapping into the talent there. And also creating Dubai Technology Entrepreneur Center, which we categorize under the Smart Factory. So DTech, in short, is really the place where we encourage entrepreneurs, incubation programs, and so on. And they are also surrounded by the education sector. They are surrounded by the leading technology brands, such as Schneider and so on. And also, we partnered up with Intel into creating the first Ignition Lab. And this Ignition Lab actually started with a vague mission, because we really didn't know what will be the role of it. But thank God, I mean, with the persistence of our management and the collaboration with the Intel, there's a lot of projects that have been deployed through that lab, through collaboration, whether it's governmental or private.
Sure. Okay. You talked about entrepreneurship, right? Now at ArabNet, obviously this is a huge thread that transcends everything that we see here. Dubai has had several attempts, both government as well as semi-government, towards building a micro-ecosystem. Together, they need to work. DSO has distinguished itself by building a true entrepreneurial ecosystem. So it's not just incubation, it's also education, there's venture capital. Can you tell us about the experience? What's the success stories like?
Yeah, of course, the ecosystem is really important. I recall in 2006, we wanted to attract a very large company into Dubai, and one of the multinational companies. However, the deal didn't go through because the lack of talents, the lack of skilled workers who can work within that facility. So that's why we focused on creating the venture capital, supporting the entrepreneurship with different programs, hosting and incubation programs, which we saw in just 1 year from opening DTech. We have more than 450 plus entrepreneurs within
Fantastic.
that.
Can you highlight 1 or 2 success stories?
Yeah, we have some of them who have already graduated. I don't recall the names as of now, but there are already, and they are sitting within the same environment. So that's really important for us to see them interact with the current incubatees. They are more experienced. We, of course, coach them, mentor them with different programs.
So when you say entrepreneurship, this is not a fancy packaging to sell real estate?
No, of course not.
For sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's talk about some of the... you talked about Smart City Incubator, right? You position yourself as an incubator for smart cities. You talked about DEWA, you talked about RTA. Can you share with us how something like the Smart District Guidelines are being deployed at Silicon Oasis? Okay. So now this is obviously an initiative that was undertaken by Smart Dubai, and you're piloting it. Tell us a little bit more about that experience.
Well, the thing is that we were working a bit faster than the normal, so the Smart City Guideline was developed after what Silicon Oasis announced of developing the Smart City, or the Silicon Park District, which is the Smart City District. However, through our collaboration with the Smart Dubai office, we managed to put the guidelines, even prior to formalizing it with them. So we went with the ITU, we went with different international bodies that certifies smart cities. And that was really the benchmark. So based on that, we are proceeding.
Tell us a bit more about the ITU collaboration.
Yeah, the ITU collaboration, of course, when you want to deploy services, and especially smart services, you need to have a background, or you need to have a body that will support these services. So we came up with the 60 services that will be provided in the Silicon Park. And it's mostly will be as a test pilot again. So these are either related to facility management, waste management, car parking, and so on. So all these are really being tested, and we look forward to even getting the certification of an ISO when it comes for smart city.
All right. I'm sure you've noticed this. Dubai has a healthy competitive spirit, and this has always been good. Why is it that we do not see more districts collaborating with each other with the same aim? So DSO is positioning itself as the leader, but you've got 3 other free zones that are self-regulated, that are doing the same thing. What do you think it will take for you to collaborate and really build the exact same set of offerings as everybody else, but then find a tilt?
I think currently there is a free zone council. I mean, a special free zone or a special free zone trade zone is an area which is declared by the government to be specialized in a certain line of business. But currently the ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed, has initiated a free zone council, which will make sure that the work is being streamlined between these free zones. And also I don't feel that we are competing here with the other districts. On the contrary, we are actually completing each other, because the offering is a little bit different. When we talk about Silicon Park as an experience, Design District has a different line where it's more focused on design and that attribute actually. And at the end of the day, we are serving the best, I mean, the good of Dubai becoming the smartest and the happiest.
Fantastic. How are we doing with time? I don't want to be booed off stage. Are we okay? All right. Should we go straight into, thank you. Should we go straight into the 3 most challenging things you've come across in your experience with DSO? And I don't mean to be a doomsayer here, but let's talk about the challenges so we can talk about how you fix them and solve them.
Well, initially, I think first was the know-how, or just to prepare that, how to get that knowledge, and there was a lot of traveling and so on. And ultimately, not adopting whatever is there in other cities, is actually coming with your own brand and entity. So it's a Dubai model that we want to create, which caters for all the attributes that consisting of the city.
Okay. 3 things you're most excited
about. Silicon Park completion, inshallah, because we have already opened the tenders for construction. So
when is that expected?
2018. Okay. 3rd quarter.
Number 2.
Number 2 is to see really the effect of the data policy or the data law that is through the Dubai establishment, Dubai data establishment. I think that would be a very powerful tool for entrepreneurs to work with data offered by the city of Dubai.
Okay.
Number 3, see the first graduation for our first batch of master's degree in city science.
This is your own diploma that you've created with Rochester.
It's not a diploma. The diploma was, we did the first batch and they graduated. The second batch is being prepared. We also deployed a master's degree in city science, which is accredited by the Ministry of Education, and they are currently studying it. So hopefully within a year we'll have the first batch.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to end this with saying sort of one thing. So Dubai is in a position to create a blueprint for the emerging world They are not competing with trying to establish a smart city example against Europe or United States. We have all of the advantages of a city yet to be built, and we have none of the disadvantages of a city that's already built. And there is no doubt that DSO will continue to play a significant role in ensuring that we accomplish the vision that His Highness has set for us, which is to make Dubai the happiest city on earth. Thank you so much, Muammar. Thank you so much.